Good day everyone. Our group will present our project called Zuki app. This is a zookeeping inventory system where an admin can keep track of animals in a zoo. Our overall plan is simple. First, build a program that allows adding, updating, displaying, and deleting animals. Second, use only arrays and functions inside one class. And lastly, make it console-based for easy use. To make our teamwork organized, we first set up GitHub. This way, each member could contribute without messing up each other's work. Now, let's move to the goals and requirements.
And now for our goals and requirements. Our goal is straightforward, of course. It is to give an administrator a simple tool to manage animals. Therefore, the admin should be able to record the animal's name, age, species, and enclosure number. So, for the requirements, we use a user persona. Because what if there's an administrator who doesn't want anything complicated? See, they can just do a basic inventory that can store an animal's data, search for them, and update details when needed. And now, let's proceed to the acceptance and constraints.
For our acceptance criteria, the app must at least do this. First, add a new animal. Second, update animal information. Third, display animal records. And lastly, delete animal records. For our constraints, we are not allowed to use objects. That means, even though we're inside a class, we cannot create objects or make another class. Everything must work inside one class, Zuki app. And for the architecture, this is console-based only. So when you run the program, you'll see text menus and options, no graphical interface. Now, let's move on to the actual code.
Here is where our program starts. This is the Zuki app class. Inside, we declare two global variables. The case size is equals to 50. This is the maximum number of animals our arrays can hold. Scan. A scanner object we use for reading user input. Why we did use private static final? First is private. Only this class can access it. Static belongs to the class itself, not to objects. Final, it's a constant, meaning its value can change while the program is running. This ensures our global values are safe and consistent throughout the program. Next, let's go to the main function.
So, hi guys! Ngayon tatalakayin natin ang main function and yung arrays. So, itong code na to, ito yung driver code natin na kung saan dito nagsisimula tumakbo ang program. Instead of writing everything sa loob ng main, we just call another function called the Zuki app. Kapag tinawag ito, lahat ng code sa loob ng Zuki app method ay i-execute. At sa loob ng Zuki app, dito namin sinet up yung arrays at isa-isa natin siyang explain. Itong line of code na to, gumagawa ito ng array ng string na ang pangalan niya ay name. So basically, alam naman natin yung string na ito yung listahan ng mga text or kahit anong salita. At yung laki ng array ay nakadepende sa value ng case size. So basically, itong line na to ay para siyang list of names ng mga hayop na pwedeng ilagay. Next, itong int age is equals to new int case size. Dito naman, gumagawa ng array ng integers ng pangalan ay age. At yung int, ibig sabihin yan ay lista ng mga full numbers. And dito, same size siya ng name kaya bawat name ay may corresponding age. Next, ito namang line of code na to. Same lang siya dun sa nauna, pero yung pangalan naman nitong string na to is species. Itong line na to, para to sa uri o klase ng hayop, halimbawa ay lion, tiger, at kahit ano pang hayop. At itong line na to, konektado din ito sa name at age. Kaya bawat entry ay may species. Itong enclosure number, ito para to sa number ng kulungan o lugar kung saan naka-assign ang bawat hayop. And ito namang counter is equals to 0. Ginagamit ito madalas bilang pangbilang kung ilan na ang na-store na array. Halimbawa, kapag may na-add na isang hayop, imbis na in counter is equals to 0, magiging counter is equal to 1. So basically, ang summary nitong Suki app na code na to ay ito ay nagsiset up ng mga list of arrays para mag-store ng information tulad ng name, age, species, enclosure number, at yung counter na kung saan bilang kung ilang data ang nakalagay. And yun lang, susunod ay check naman natin kung paano nag-work yung main menu.
Inside Zuki app, we show a menu to the user. This menu repeats in a loop until the user chooses quit. We use a switch statement but not the traditional one with case and break. Instead, we use the new arrow style, which makes the code shorter and easier to read. Each case directly runs the function that matches the user's choice. Now let's move on to how we add new animals.
Welcome. So for this part, we have create animal function na nagtitake ng 5 parameters and apat doon ay arrays. So we have name, age, species, and enclosure number, and a counter. So ito yung counter, siya yung nagtatrack ng available index para sa mga arrays natin. So para hindi tayo mag out of bounds kumbaga. So dito malagay yun dito sa part na to. Now, para dun sa mga hindi nakakalam, ang mga primitive data types ay nagpapass by value sila. Ibig sabihin, kapag pinasa natin itong mga to sa methods or function, ay nagkikreate lamang tayo ng panibagong copy ng variables na yun. So, in this case, counter. So, ibig sabihin, kapag pinasa natin itong counter na to dito sa function na to, ay meron tayong dalawang copy ng counter sa memory. So, dito na papasok yung pinagkaiba nila sa arrays. Kasi ang arrays, according sa textbooks, ay pass by reference, which is kinda true, pero hindi siya totally tama kasi ang lahat ng arrays ay considered as objects. So itong arrays kasi na to, ang pinapasa nila yung copy ng value ng reference. So meaning, yung reference kasi na yun, yung value nun ay andun yung pointer or yung memory address. At sa memory address na yan, ay andun nakatira yung mga arrays. So pag na-access kasi natin yung memory address, meaning pwede rin natin ma-access yung elements ng array. So kaya etong part na to ay posible. Kasi na-access natin yung memory address. Kapag may binago tayo dito sa array na to, ay magre-reflect siya sa original array. So kung iisipin mo, hindi lang siya pass by reference. Kasi kung masasabi kasi natin siyang pass by reference lamang kung pwede natin baguhin yung reference kung saan siya nagpo-point na memory address. Meaning, kunwari itong array na to, yung name na to, gusto natin i-point sa species array, ay bawal siya. Hindi siya posible dito sa language na to kasi pinagbabawal siya ng Java. Posible lamang to sa language ng C or C++ or Rust. Kaya kung may time kayong pag-aralan yung mga yun, ay nare-recommend akong aralin nyo yun kasi mahalaga yung mga yun. So anyway, enough with that. So ang unang part nitong function na to ay nagche-check lamang tayo ng kung yung counter ba, yung available index ay greater than sa size. Ibig sabihin kapag greater than or equal sa size, ay na-meet na natin yung yung limit. Ibig sabihin, bawal na tayo ma-access yung mga index na yan. Kasi pag in-access natin yung mga index na yan, ay magkaka-out of bounds. So, check lang yan para hindi mangyari yung part na yan. So, dito na tayo sa user inputs. So, dito na tayo sa binabago natin yung laman ng mga arrays. So, dito sa part na to, we have two input utilities, which one with string and with int. So for with string, ay nagtitake lang naman siya ng string. Dito sa string na to, at piniprint lang naman niya tong name na to para yun yung lumabas sa console. Tapos tinitake yung user input, tapos nilalagay dito sa index na to. Ganun na din naman sa readint, nagtitake siya ng string, pero meron siyang minimum and maximum. Ibig sabihin, dito lang sa range na to maglalaro yung user input. So, bawal siya lumagpas, bawal din siyang bumaba. And that's pretty much it. And ito pa pala yung counter. Ina-update natin yung counter. Siyempre, para next time na may mag-create animal, hindi ma-overridden yung index. Kaya ina-update natin to. Pagkatapos i-update, syempre gusto natin i-return yun. I-return to dun sa original na counter para ma-update yung original counter dun sa taas ng code. So, that's pretty much it para sa create animal function.
After adding the animals, we may also need to update, delete, and display them. For the update animal, this function shows all the animals and let the user pick which index to update. Then, it asks for new values. Next, for delete animal, it removes the animal at the chosen index and shifts all the animal after it one step back. Lastly, the display animal. This lets the user view animals by name, species, or enclosures. It even gives the options like searching and counting animals. Now, let's see the supporting function that makes display possible.
Supporting functions. To make searching and displaying easier, we build helper functions. With these, we can search by name to quickly find a specific animal. We can search by species to list all animals of the same type. We can search by ensure to see which animals are in the same area. We can count animals either by species or by ensure, thanks to method overloading. We use read string and read int to handle user input properly. Is any animal data exist? Check if there's at least one animal before running other actions. Finally, print animal prints one animal's details neatly, showing name, age, species, and ensure.
To wrap up, our program shows how arrays, loops, and functions can work together to solve a real-world problem. Even with the limitation of not using objects or multiple classes, we still build a working system. The app is console-based, easy to use, and meets the admin's needs for a simple zoo inventory system. That's all for our presentation. Thank you for listening.
Dangal greetings! In this video, we'll debug our project called Zuki App, an animal inventory system. We'll show you how to test, find possible issues, and check if the code works as expected. Now first, let's compile and run the program to make sure that there are no syntax errors. And now, let's test the add animal function. We'll try the correct and incorrect inputs. And next, we'll test the display option, including when no animals match. And now, let's test the update feature with valid and invalid inputs. And next, let's try the delete function with valid and invalid cases to confirm that it removes animals properly. Now to validate the test, we'll check the edge cases, like when the storage is full. Now if we try to display, update, or delete when there are no animals, of course the program should warn us. And finally, we'll check the quit option. And now we have tested and debugged all the main features of Zuki app. We check not only the correct inputs, but also the wrong ones, invalid numbers, wrong indexes, non-numeric age, out-of-range enclosure, empty list, and even the inventory is full. All of them are handled properly.